Hi, so we're going to talk a little bit about vacuuming, proper techniques, and all of the good stuff that goes along with that. But first, we need to learn the fundamentals of our vacuum. So we have a backpack vacuum, and this we chose because it is so incredibly good at filtration. So what it's doing is it's actually improving the air quality in our clients' homes by using it. So that's why we love this brand specifically, and this actual model is like supreme. So first things first, we want to make sure that our backpack vacuum is in good order before we even begin. So we want to make sure that our vacuum bag is, first of all, making sure that it's the proper fit and making sure that it's not loaded with debris. So if it is, you need to change it, especially if you're having suction issues. That is a majority of the issue right there. It stems from the bag first. So we do process of elimination. What is the problem? Always check the bag first. So once we have that on, there's these little clips. There's 3 clips, and you clip them on, and clip them on. Now here is our HEPA filtration filter. So a lot of times monthly we check these and we make sure that they are in good working order, that they are clean, and that they are ready to rock and roll and working as they need to. There is cords here. I always like to double check and make sure that all of my cords are 100% clipped in properly, so that if there's any electrical weird malfunctions or something, I'm going to make sure that I am just going to take a look at all of my electrical components to make sure that those are all running supremely well. Okay, we have a extension cord here, and we're going to take this off. And it's really important to make sure that your cord is wrapped properly. If you do not wrap it properly, what happens is it kinks the wires, the electrical wires that are on the inside here, and it will cause an electrical surge. So what could happen is you could cause damage to a client's house. So we want to make sure that when you are wrapping your cord back up, that you are making big loops. And I'm gonna demonstrate, because I know that this is kind of hard for some people sometimes. Okay, so we're finished vacuuming a client's house. We're going to wrap loosely. Okay, it's not tight. Wrap it loosely all the way down to the end, making sure that there is no crimps, there's no issues, making sure it's free flowing. It's a long cord, I know. But then once you're done there, now what you're going to do is you're going to take your clip, and you're going to take your handle here, and you're going to clip it to your handle. I like to go underneath, because then it's easy to just unclip it when it's time to just release it and go. So you clip it there. Now there's a couple other areas that I want to show you. This specific one is your on-off switch. Okay, so you have your on, you have your off. There's also, and I'm going to take this off now because I want to show you and demonstrate what this looks like when it's on. Okay, so we want both feet firmly on the ground. And then what we're going to do with good body mechanics is bending your knees and picking up the canister. All right, you're going to put it over your shoulders, and I'm going to show you a couple of adjustments if it's not properly fitting well. So first things first, you have a belt buckle around you. There is a latch here that you can loosen it, and a latch on this side also. So you don't want it just hanging like that. Proper is you want it right on your belly, Okay, right just below your belly button is perfect. Okay, so what that's going to do is that is going to take the weight off of your lower back. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to clip it here because that is going to take the weight off of your shoulders. Now, these are also adjustable. They can go up and they can go down. So if you feel that you need it to be taller or raised up or lowered, whatever, you can definitely adjust those also. Now you also have straps on either side here. This is going to loosen. You're going to watch the canister. See how it just like lets it loose off of you? We don't want that. We want it nice and snug up against us, okay? So there's no real slack, all right? Because what that's going to do is when we are vacuuming, that's going to make everything in proper alignment. So that's super important for body mechanics so that you don't hurt yourself. So making sure that you are definitely belted in and that your straps are attached properly and they're tightened properly. Okay, the next thing that we want to do is right now we always start with vacuuming rugs first. Floors are last, because the beater bar is going to spit a lot of stuff off of the rug, especially if it's not at the right pile. The pile is the thickness of the rug. So if there's different piles of the rug, what's going to happen is the beater bar is going to spit some out. And what happens is it spits it out on the floor that's closest to it, obviously. So what we want to do is we want to avoid going backwards. We want to make sure that the rugs are all vacuumed first, then your floors, okay? So what we want to do is we want to get our rug piece all situated. We have our rug piece here, and what I did was I just followed it up and plugged it in to the source, all right? Now there's an on-off switch here for the beater bar, so you can turn it on at handheld and off. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to properly vacuum. Okay, I am intentionally not going to start the vacuum because you will not be able to hear me. So, but I am going to demonstrate on exactly what the process is. So first things first, there's a little button on your beater bar down here that you're going to press, and that is going to release the handle. So you're going to release your handle. You are then going to turn on your beater bar switch. And what you are going to do is you are going to go with the flow of the rug. So if your rug, like if you can see here, okay, if you can see here, the design of the rug is going up and down, okay? So I want to also vacuum in that direction. I do not want to go against the grain of the rug, because what's going to happen is it is going to get sucked up and it's going to be such a nightmare to try and vacuum those areas. So we are intentionally going to go with the flow, okay? And you're going to start all the way up, bring it all the way down, okay? And then move over. Now, it is extremely important that when you are vacuuming, we're going to use the same technique that we do for dusting. We're going to lift everything up, vacuum under, and then put it right back down. Now, there is a rule. You cannot lift up couches. You cannot lift up big, heavy items, but it is that you make sure that you get underneath those areas. If your vacuum cannot get under certain areas, you can take your Swiffer duster, and I'm going to show you in just a second. You can take your long pole Swiffer duster and you can go underneath areas where your vacuum is not getting to. Now, what I like to do is I like to bring the debris out and flick it and make a pile. So then when I come to and vacuum, I'm going to vacuum that huge pile. And then I'm going to physically lift underneath and make sure that I didn't miss anything. Clients, I am telling you, clients will check those areas. So If you cannot get under something because the vacuum is not properly fitting under something, you must Swiffer underneath it. Okay, so now for floors, it is basically the same concept. So we are going to switch our head to our floor piece. And this floor piece is supposed to be cleaned every single Friday. It's supposed to be disinfected. It's supposed to be taken over to our slop sink or a sink of whatever, with the scrub brush and some soap and water. And that is supposed to be scrubbed down and disinfected. If you are at a client's house and it is just disgusting, the floors are really disgusting, you must clean the floor brush after, because we do not want to cross-contaminate and bring other stuff into clients' houses from other homes. Okay, so really important. So I'm going to show you how to switch from the power head to the floor piece, and then I'm going to show you exactly the motion and how we do floors. All right, so we are going to first unplug the electrical. We are then going to press this little button right here that is going to release the rug piece off of the wand. All right, now we're going to take our floor piece and we are going to fit it on. Now, obviously the little button is not going to allow it to stick on. So we have to depress the button and it will slide on and hold on to itself. All right, so now the technique for doing floors is the same concept as when doing rugs. So here, let me show you. Okay, so you can see on these floors that the pattern, the way that the floor was laid, was in an up-down motion, okay? It's not side to side. So that is how we are going to proceed with vacuuming the floors. Now, I'm not going to turn it on because you're not going to hear me, but this is the motion that you want to go, okay? Forward, backwards. Nice and thoughtful and methodical and not like sporadic all over like that. That's not good vacuuming. Good vacuuming is starting from one corner of the room and then working your way all the way over to the other side of the room in one fluid motion, okay? So you want to go back and forth. And it's not a fast process. You're going to need to go slow, because the slower you go, the more you're going to be able to pick up the debris on the floor. The other thing that is very important is throw rugs like this. If they are small enough, you are going to lift them up, okay? You're going to, what I like to do is I like to do half and half. I'll fold half of it over and I'm going to vacuum my area, okay? And then the next thing I'm going to do, because we've already vacuumed this rug already, remember, we do our rugs first. Then I'm going to take this end and I'm going to fold it over and I'm going to vacuum this section, and then I'm going to put my rug back, okay? Getting underneath furniture is very critical, like I just mentioned. You're going to want to you're going to need to squat down. This is your free gym membership. And you are going to get completely underneath all of the areas that you can get under. Now, as far as big rugs like this, obviously we are not going to get under. However, I like to lift up just a little bit so that my little end can get under there, and just go along the edge like that, okay? Because it's going to get a lot of debris, especially certain rugs that fall, you know, the dust and debris just falls through these type of rugs anyway. So making sure that you get 100% behind, okay, getting all of those little nooks and crannies, making sure that all the dust bunnies are gone. If you can move little pieces of furniture such as this, we are going to do that. Just move it out of your way, okay? Do a thorough vacuum and then replace it exactly how it was. All right? So that is vacuuming. Always remember, go with the grain of the floor. Okay. All right. You're going to do great. Good job.